Hey, I'm Blake Wharton. On this episode of Does It Moto, we are in Casa Grande, Arizona at Motoland. We're here with BVC Offroad. We're gonna be testing out the Honda 450 big wheel. Pretty exciting. Let's go check it out. So the BVC 450 is basically a modern big wheel. We all remember the big wheels of the 80s. I grew up on one, but they were not super capable on a track. So the idea with this episode is let's take all the modern things that we have on our motorcycles, let's put some big wheels on it, let's see how it fares. What is it gonna take to ride a bike like this? You need tons of masculinity. You need a giant shoe size for that peg, and a lot of chest hair. And fortunately, I have all of those. So we should be able to handle it. We have BVC's top men they sent out to make sure things go appropriately today, help us get set up with suspension, and to explain some of the details on the bike.
So everything that goes into the conversion on the big wheel model, we space the exhaust out to clear the back tire. We fabricate and machine a whole welded swing arm that will accept the new back hub and new back wheel. We machine the triple clamps in-house for the wider front end. We also include our own wide foot pegs too to compensate for the wider rear end of the bike and front end. It just feels more natural. We get the wheel halves from Douglas Wheels, and we actually TIG weld the wheels together and make our own wheels in-house. We make the hubs in-house too. We make our own axles. It's a full bolt-on kit, 100% made in the USA. They're just fun to ride, they're different. My favorite part probably is the full welded swing arm in the back. We took a long time to design and make it. It took us a couple tries, but once we figured it out and started learning how the bikes work and what they're gonna do, we just took off with it, and it's just a really fun part to make. You can turn it back to a normal dirt bike, or you can convert it into a big wheel. I feel like the big wheels are really good for trail riding. We're gonna find out how Blake likes it on the motocross track and get his feedback.
So let's do a little walk around here. We've got some pretty cool CNC custom badging. It's all BVC. They do that wherever they can fit that on the bike. We've got some not normal triple clamps. We've got giant triple clamps here, which does give it a different feel. The bars are gonna be the same, but the triple clamps are much wider. So it's a lot more to muscle around. These are big ass wheels. That's what they are. We don't have spoked wheels, basically. These are quad wheels. So we've got some interesting stuff happening on the front here. We have our giant tire, and these are Maxxis radial tires. And these are a little bit different tires. These aren't your standard quad tire. We needed something that was a little bit more rounded. And then one of the most interesting things to me is the chain and sprocket setup. Very different, very unique, very important for this bike. It's important that they move the swing arm out a little bit to create some space for the inner chain. And then of course your foot has to fit there as well. So a lot happening here. Definitely relevant for this build. Super cool. I look forward to seeing what it can do on the track. We ride one lap at a time now. That's about my moto. That's the extent of my moto. Especially with the big wheels. One lap, like 5 normal laps, I would say. Well, what is it like to ride this bike? As you can tell, I'm pretty exhausted. It pretty much worked me over. Of course, I haven't been riding a whole lot lately, but I feel like I got run over by a big wheel. It felt like I just did, 12 motos yesterday and 8 today. So that's a feeling I haven't felt in a while. But as far as the difference on your body, I would say because the triple clamps are so wide and the tire is so wide, it is a lot more here on your chest and your back. It works you over good. Riding impressions for this thing, definitely different. Your approach on how you're riding and the technique you're using is significantly different, because to make it corner the way you want, it's gonna take some practice, it's gonna take some technique. We did play with suspension, we played with tire pressure, and actually we got a pretty good setup, and this is with stock suspension. This is the first time this bike's really been on a motocross track. So it's kind of new for everybody. It's new for the guys at BVC, and it's new for me as well. I've never ridden anything like this before, so definitely a learning experience and fun, ultimately. The bigger tire kind of smoothens out the delivery for a 450, so it feels a little bit more manageable, more controllable. The bike is a little bit lower, and so for certain people, that's probably better. There is some added weight to it, so you will feel that a little, but it doesn't really stop you from, jumping or doing anything like that. Suspension-wise, it did seem to give you a little bit more travel with the giant tires. I mean, that's gotta count for something. Like I said, this is stock suspension, so, not someone like myself's first choice of suspension. You throw the big tires on it, it really wasn't too bad. What did I feel like when it was cornering? You have to know how to make the thing corner. You have to know how to use your front brake, how to use your clutch, your lean angles. And you have to be very patient, as you notice. It's very, very much a bike that you can really ride pretty well when the track's set up and your line choice is there. As far as jumping goes, it was almost normal. On the bigger jumps that are more spread out, it's really not bad. You do feel a little bit more weight in the front end. With the current setup, the pegs being a bit long, you can't really lean it over as much. Yes, and when you're in the air and you are, throwing the bike around a little, it's not gonna come back as quick, so that because of the added weight. But jumping felt pretty natural. The rhythm section was a little bit tricky because the jumps are so close together. These bigger tires, you don't have as much space. So a rhythm section would probably be the more challenging portion of the jumping. But scrubbing, whipping a little bit and airing out a big jump is no problem. It's really more like a zombie apocalypse bike. You can last in the end of days if you wanted to. One of my favorite things on the moto track is the fact that it is quite challenging, when compared to a normal bike. It's quite challenging, and so I kind of enjoyed that because it's all technique, really. If you can make one bike work, you can make them all work. The same principles apply, and so that was pretty fun. You got to be a man to ride it. You don't ride a BVC big wheel, you mob on it. You're straight mobbing. So, getting a group of your guy friends, well, that sounds weird, doesn't it? That is guy friends? What is this? Get a group of your friends, you go to the track, you get 2 or 3 of these big wheels, it'd be a blast. And that's really what it's about. It's fun, it's a variation of what we already love. We love motorcycles, that's what we're here doing, The question we came here to answer today is, does it moto? And yes, the answer is, it does moto. The BVC Honda 450 big wheel motos. It was a great time. If you guys have any ideas for us going forward on different bikes and different tests, hit me up. Thank you for tuning in to the video. Actually, this bike is going to be for sale, so if you guys liked it, go ahead and reach out to the BVC guys. Check out their YouTube page and their website for more cool stuff, a lot of trikes, a lot of big wheels. And like I said, this bike is for sale, so it could be yours.